Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here. It's running the 5-game NBA main slate on Saturday. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos breaking down NBA, NFL, PGA, and esports, daily fantasy sports slates, esports, including Call of Duty, League of Legends, and CSGO. Before we get into the breakdown, I do want to say thank you guys again for all the support. Really, really close now to 4K subs. I think we're at 3.98. So if you're a new listener or if you're a listener to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, I would really, really appreciate it. It's the easiest way to support me right now, guys. It's all free content, videos, live streams, Twitter. I'm on Twitter at least 2 hours a day, maybe more. Answering you guys' questions. I have a lot of people in my DMs. I try to get to everyone. So, yeah, again, the easiest way to support me, spread the word, like the video, subscribe to the channel. And then also, if you can't watch the videos, I do also upload on Apple Podcasts. It's the DK DFS show. The link is in the description below. But with that out of the way, let's jump into the video. So before we get into the players and the prices for this 5-game slate, what we can do is we can look back at my lineup here from Friday, currently going on right now. So yeah, a little bit tilting right here. SGA looks like he's broken. 6.8K, he cannot hit a shot. I think he's 1 of 10. Great matchup there. Everything looked good. I don't know what's going on with him. I really don't. Now, was SGA a bad play? Right? I always do these look back videos and see, was it a process mistake or was it just we got unlucky? If you played SGA here, he was a really good play. We got unlucky. 100%, guys. You can't predict like a 1 of 10 shooting day. Hopefully he salvages it, maybe gets like 25, 30. But yeah, I mean, he was high owned for a reason, right? In the higher dollar tournaments, he continued to get higher owned, right? So in lower dollar tournaments, maybe the $1, $2 tournaments, maybe he's not as high owned. When you get to 50, 100, couple $100 tournaments, SGA was really popular again. 57% owned in this one. So yeah, I don't think it was a process mistake. I think we got unlucky. There were other options for sure, right? There were definitely other guys, other guards. But it just the way, it really worked with my roster construction getting to him. Fox, LeVert were two guys that are really high on. Again, that game just started, but I wanted exposure to that game. The center position was a little bit tricky here. There's so many good plays. I won't know well with no Steven Adams. He picked up 4 fouls. He's in some foul trouble. Jonas Valanciunas, I'm super tilted about. He picked up 3 fouls. The third one was BS in my opinion. He missed out on 7 minutes in the first half. That is huge. At one point just starting the second half, he had 15 points and 7 rebounds in 13 minutes. That's the type of upside JV has. That was in 13 minutes. Imagine if he played like 18 minutes in the first half, right? So hopefully he gets back out there. Hopefully that game doesn't blow out. That'll also be super tilting. SGA, man, like, just shake my head. But yeah, I want Trey Brown, Ingram, and Melly because of no Zion Williamson. But right now, looks like SGA might be the one that holds me back. Luckily, he is high owned, but tilted about that for sure. And again, I had one slate where I didn't have to deal with foul trouble. That was last night. I won big in everything, easily. And that was with AD in my lineup, who didn't play in the fourth. So, yeah, every single slate, it feels like I have to deal with foul trouble. But that's my tilting, and I usually try to keep this to 2-3 minutes. But I always like doing this look back video, right? Was SGA a wrong play? He was not. Hopefully he can salvage the day. Again, I'm making this video early on, about 6 p.m. Eastern. We don't have any odds up right now for this 5-game slate. There's some news up in the air, but I'll try to do my best to break it down. I'll also be live for this one. Since this is the weekend, I'm not working, so I'll probably be able to go live maybe 45 minutes, maybe an hour before lock. So I'll keep you guys updated on that if you guys are new to that. Basically what I do is go over all the news we get, give you guys a team-by-team breakdown, cash plays, GPP plays, and answer any questions you guys have at the end. So let's get into the breakdown. Center, AD at the top at 10-3, going up against the Pacers. Good matchup here. My worry is what we just saw in the last game. He didn't play in the fourth quarter. Now, that game was close. It wasn't a blowout. It was like a 10-point game. I thought for sure AD, Kuzma are coming back. They didn't. LeBron was rested the last game. Maybe the rest AD here today. I'm worried about the Lakers. They have nothing to play for, right? They already have the 1 seed basically locked up. Right? It does worry me. So, don't know, right? It's kind of a question mark. Personally, like, if we don't get news, I might stay away. Like, we do have Giannis in the slate. We do have Luka. We have Porzingis. We have other spend-up options I feel just safer about for their minutes. So, that is for sure a concern right now with these Lakers guys. They have nothing to play for. Jokic 9-2. We got Mike Malone, I guess, if you will, right? Only played 24 minutes. The starters did not come back in the fourth for no reason. The game was close. Malone just didn't go with the starters. Just let the bench go out there. That's why I made a little poll. I was like, who was the most hated coach for DFS? I said Popovich, Mike Malone, and who's the other one I'm not thinking of right now? Why can I not think of that? Hold on. Popovich, Malone. Jesus. Hold on, guys. Let's see. This is going to kill me, so I got to get to it. And Rick Carlisle, right. Because Carlisle, you can never trust the rotations, like I mentioned with Boban the other day. And again, another reason why I started this channel was always be open and honest as possible. I saw a lot of content providers, I'm not going to name names, that were high in Boban, projecting him for 15 to 20 minutes. I was like, no way. How can you trust Rick Carlisle with these rotations? Again, he played 6 minutes. That was it. And then you had those people kind of blaming the coach. I'm like, I don't know. I think I was more on your part, trusting Rick Carlisle. But again, that's kind of why I made this channel, is be open, as honest as possible, and take your L when you have make a wrong decision like that. A lot of people don't. Again, sure, can I take my L in SGA today? I don't think that was a process mistake. I just think we got unlucky, shooting the ball terrible, 1 of 10. I don't know what's going on with SGA, so that's another topic. But Jokic 9-2. He's a super frustrating player to roster. Again, times he'll take over games, so we saw in OKC against Portland, played 24 minutes, 31 fantasy points. Even with everyone out, Millsap out, Jamal Murray out, Barton out, Gary Harris out, still Jokic, again, right? So I like him, but which Jokic we're going to get? That's the question. Nurkic at 8-9, I really like here. Played 35 minutes there against Denver. Did not have a good shooting day. Back-to-back days where he did not shoot well. 6 of 15, 9 of 20. Still went for 54 and 41 fantasy points. Again, what I love is he fills up the stat sheet. The matchup here is good against the Clippers, right? Not really a team matchup, but the individual matchup against a guy like Zubac, a guy like JaMychal Green. We still have no Montrezl Harrell, so I do like Yusuf Nurkic a good amount there at 8-9. Again, he fills up the stat sheet, so really do like this. I also really like Porzingis at 8-4. Mentioned him as a low-owned play the last slate, 38 minutes, 51 fantasy points. I like him again here, even against Milwaukee. Milwaukee's kind of been struggling recently. I'm not really scared of the matchup right now. Milwaukee plays at a super fast pace. Again, the individual matchup for him is good. Brook Lopez, not a good defender. So I do like Porzingis a good amount here at 8-4. The one concern is he has been foul trouble a lot. But I think he's a pretty solid play there at that price. Ayton was a guy who was super high in the last slate, went for almost 50 fantasy points. The price only went up $400. Now, sure, the matchup isn't necessarily the best, but what you get with Ayton is the guarantee with minutes, right? He's going to play 35-plus minutes. Again, Bam Adebayo, good defender, but I still think Ayton's in play here because of the price tag and the minutes. Rudy Gobert, all those guys for Utah sat out for rest. I fully expect him back. At 7-5, we finally saw an upside game from him. Finally, 53 fantasy points. I don't know if I'm going to go back, though. I think there's just other better center options, in my opinion. Now, Bam Adebayo at 7-4, I think looks really good. We already have Jimmy Butler ruled out. He was in foul trouble last game. Don't be scared of only 22 minutes. We're going to get 32 or so, maybe a little bit more. Again, no Jimmy. That's a huge usage boost to Bam. A great matchup. I really like Bam at 7-4. I think he's one of the best plays of the day right now. Miles Turner at 6-6. The matchup not necessarily the best against the pace, or the Lakers, I should say, but what we're going to get is a lot of minutes from him. I think he's fine if you get him. Again, more of a contrarian option. Zubac's guy I've mentioned the last couple slates, and he's gone off both slates, 34 and 44 fantasy points. I still think he's in play here. I don't think he's going to shoot the ball 10 of 10, but still, right? 25 minutes out of Zubac. He's a guy that can get you 40-plus fantasy points. Now, Nurkic is a better defender here. I think Zubac's fine. Again, more of a contrarian, though, because of the price point right now, contrarian option. Brolo at 5K is just, again, fine. I think he's solid for his price. I think he's a little bit too cheap. Kelly Olynyk, I think he looks really good at 4-9. Played 34 minutes. Had a little bit of an off game for his standards for 34 minutes, 25 fantasy points. I think he could bounce back here again. We still have no Jimmy Butler. So that is a boost to Kelly O. I think he starts again. I think, again, he'll run some backup 5. He can get hot behind the three-point line. I like him a good amount here at 4-9. I think he's a really, really solid play. Whiteside status is up in there. Not huge news, but I think maybe a slight boost to Nurkic. And then I think we would get Zach Collins back up 5 rounds. So that would be a boost to Zach Collins, who is at 4-3. The issue with him is he is always in foul trouble. But I think this is a game where he could get over 30 minutes. I think he's fine for value. It's a risk-reward, right? Do you want to take the shot and hope he stays out of foul trouble? If he does, I think, again, he gets 30, 32 minutes. He could definitely get you there at that price. Kleber, I just don't trust anyone else. I do not trust any secondary plays in Dallas. There's no reason to on this slate, in my opinion, unless we have a lot of injuries. But it just, like I've said, I've been stressing it since the return. Do not trust Rick Carlisle. Besides Doncic and Porzingis, you cannot trust any of the other rotation guys. There's no reason to take a shot at anyone, in my opinion. Now, Plumlee was a value play I mentioned as a dart throw, low-owned play because Millsap was out one for 27 minutes, 30 fantasy points. Now, I think Millsap's going to be back here, so that kind of takes Plumlee out of play unless they rest Millsap again, but I don't think that's going to happen. Jermichael Green's at 3.8. We still have no Harrell, but I don't think we get enough minutes for me to consider him right now. Again, Zubac's getting extended a bit. Bradley would only look to him if Gobert's out again. Obviously, he'd be a top play if Gobert's out. But, yeah, right now it's a pass unless, again, Gobert's out. I did mention for the showdown slate, if you guys play that, to play Tony Bradley and to play Jordan Clarkson. That worked out if you followed suit there. Let's see, Dwight McGee. They're both really cheap. I don't hate taking a shot there. Indiana does always have a center, usually Turner. Out there plays good minutes. I think they're okay as dart throw options, right? Dwight had a pretty solid game there against Houston and kind of garbage time, but 20 minutes, 27 fantasy points. I think they're decent punts. Bull got extended a bit because the Stars didn't come back in, played 25 minutes. I don't think we'll get that again, and I do think Paul Millsap plays, so definitely takes a Bull out of play unless someone is out there for the bigs for Denver. Giannis Antetokounmpo's at 10.8. This is where I think I buy to Giannis. He's now priced under 11K. The matchup's pretty good against Dallas, and Milwaukee's really been struggling. So, now, sure, Milwaukee doesn't really have a whole lot to play for either. So that is something you have to have in the back of your mind, too. Like, there's risk with the Bucks, with the Lakers guys, that they just limit them. We saw that against Brooklyn where Giannis only played the first half. So you got to have that in the back of your mind. But I think this is a shot I'm willing to take here against Dallas. Hope he just gets to 32 to 34 minutes because I think he could crush that salary if he does. Again, I already talked about AD and Nurkic. Warren has been playing unreal. Had a kind of, not an amazing game, I guess, for the return there. 7 of 20, 36 fantasy points. But we're just getting huge shot attempts from Warren, even with everyone healthy. Brogdon, Oladipo, again, still no bonus, obviously, but they're basically almost a fully healthy team. 29, 26, 17, and 20 shots in the 4 games. I think he's still in play even against the Lakers, just because he's a guy that obviously has that upside, and if he's getting hot, he can drain threes. Michael Porter Jr., and this is kind of dependent on Jamal Murray news. I think we do already have Will Barton, Gary Harris out. 44, 36, 34 minutes. The minutes are there right now. The shot attempts are there. 50-plus fantasy points in all 3 games. It's just the matchup not necessarily the best, but if Jamal Murray's out, again, Denver could be thin. I think MPJ is still in play there at 7.2. I think he's a pretty solid play. Kuzma, this is kind of dependent on LeBron or AD. If one or both sit, then I would love Kuzma. So, yeah, just dependent right now on what the Lakers do with their stars. In Millsap, I think he plays. Cam Johnson has been playing well at 5'2". The minutes have really been there for him, too. 40, 38, and 36. I know I've kind of been off him the last few slates, but I get it if you go to him right now, because really the minutes are locked in. He's playing 35 to 40 minutes a night, and he's been pretty productive. He's a nice addition to the Suns team with no Kelly Oubre right now. So, yeah, I think he's okay. Even at 5'2", I think Cam Johnson's okay. Let's see. I already talked about Kelly. Oh, I'm not going to get to Saric. Crowder's fine, but I think I prefer the other Miami value plays. Guys like Nunn, Hero, Iguodala. Let's see. Marcus Morris, what have his minutes been like? 36 the last couple of games. Okay. That is better to see that he's going to play huge minutes. I think he's okay at 4-5. Great matchup. He can get hot when shooting. He's not shooting the ball a ton because he's playing alongside high-usage guys like Kawhi, Paul George, Lou Williams. So I think Marcus Morris is okay there at 4-5. The minutes have been solid. Let's see. That really wraps it up for power forward. Let's move on to small forward. Luka at the top at 11K. Like him. If you can get to him, again, he is maybe a little bit overpriced, but he has that type of upside, right? He's going to do it all. Rebounds, points, blocks, steals. So I do like Luka. I think he's a really solid play. If you can get to him, you might have to overpay a little bit, but what you're going to get is basically a guarantee of the minute security rate. With him and Porzingis are probably going to get 35 plus as long as they stay out of foul trouble. Let's see, Kawhi, I think, looks really good at 8-8 in a match against Portland. Him and Paul George have really been getting extended. 37 and 38 minutes in back-to-back games. I like Kawhi a good amount here. Even with Lou Williams back, he's just playing in the huge minutes. It's a great matchup. I like Kawhi. And again, I like Paul George. I think both are in play. Can you play both together? I think you could. But yeah, both I think look really, really solid in a good matchup. Middleton he's had upside games. 50 fantasy points in 2 of the last 3 games. It's tricky, right? I would rather get to Giannis for 3,000 more, but I get it if you go to Middleton. He's just been a little bit more up and down. Obviously, I think Giannis is the safer play, but you're going to have to pay a little bit more for him. If you can't get to Giannis, I get it if you go to Middleton. Again, I think Barton is... Well, we don't have him out officially, so we'll see. Jimmy Butler did get officially ruled out for Saturday, so that's a big boost again. Bam, we'll talk about some value plays, too, in a bit here for Miami. I already mentioned Kelly O, who I like. Oladipo was at 5'7". I think he's solid. Played 31 minutes, 25 fantasy points. I think he's a decent play there. Not my favorite. Melo's at 5'5". Not super excited about that. I mean, Gary Trent Jr., I don't know what to do with this guy. Like, the price continues to go up, but he continues to literally not miss. All he's out there for is his threes. Now, he did have a couple assists and rebounds. That's a little bit more rare for him. If you go to him, I get it. I'm not going to. I think he's got to come back down to earth soon, shooting that well. But, again, he's on fire right now, so I get it. It's just not going to be the way that I go. Duncan Robinson's at 4'8". I think he's decent. Should play about 30 minutes. He is a little bit more scoring dependent, so that is the downside. I think I prefer Kelly O. I think I prefer Nunn, Hero at similar prices. Even Iguodala, I think I prefer to Duncan, is at 4'5". Going to play probably about 30 minutes. Now, this is kind of dependent on Dragic. If Dragic is out, again, that's a bigger boost to all those guys I mentioned. If Dragic's in, then I think we have to reconsider, right? So I think Nunn's minutes will go way down. I think a couple other guys might lose some minutes. So the big news that we're waiting on, obviously, is the status of Goran Dragic. But I think if he's out, Iguodala is a solid play, even at 4'5". Other options, I think that's really it. So let's move on to shooting guard. Booker's at 8'3". I think that's decent. Again, Booker just seems to continue to go low-owned on these slates. He's a guy that can get you 50-plus if he's shooting the ball well. Look at the Clippers game, right? 37 minutes, 54 fantasy points. Not really the best matchup, but I think he makes for an interesting GBP play. CJ McCollum, I actually think is in play at 7'8", because, again, the minutes are huge for him and Lillard. 41, 40, and 40 minutes. They're basically playing the whole game. He had a bad shoe night, 4-15. Still on for 33 fantasy points. Now he's under 8K. I think CJ's solid. I do. At this price, not a whole lot of amazing plays on the slate, so I get it if you go to CJ. I think he goes still a little bit lower owned. Again, I'm not trusting any of the other Dallas secondary plays. Ingles at 5'6", finally had an upside game. This game against the Spurs only played 17 because he didn't play in the second half. Played 34 minutes against Memphis, 39 fantasy points. I think he's okay at his price. None. This is dependent on it. Strictly dependent. He's already got. Did he get ruled out? That just happened. 541. Okay, so that's why I didn't see that. None is out, and possibly Dragic is out. So, yeah, if Dragic is out, I think Hero becomes an amazing play. I think Iguodala becomes a really good play. I think both those guys have to run the point a lot. So yeah, right. That's huge news. Again, Gary Harris, Barton, I assume they're still going to be out. Let's see. Other options, like the Lakers value, I would look to those guys if one or both of AD and LeBron are out, so that's something to keep an eye on for sure. That's what let's move on to point guard. Let's see. Lillard's at 10K. I mean, I get it, right? The huge minutes, 44, 40, and 41 fantasy points. They have to win. The matchup not necessarily the best, but if Lillard's going to play 40 minutes, he has that type of upside, right? He's 80 fantasy points against Denver. Yeah, the upside is there, right? So I'm good with Lillard at 10K. Even at 10K, the minutes are locked in with him, CJ. That's what, we get the minute security on a lot of these guys on teams that are fighting for the playoffs. So, yeah, right. It's a weird slate because you have some guys that look good, but then they have nothing to play for, right? Lakers, Bucks. So, do you just want to avoid those guys and hope they get limited? It's a little bit tricky. Let's see. Brogdon's at 6'9". He had an upside game with everyone healthy again besides the bonus 34 minutes, 44 fantasy points. I think he's okay. Even at 6'9", what he does is he's going to do it all. Rebounds, assists, blocks, steals, points. So I'm fine with Brogdon. Not my favorite play, but I get it if you go there at 6'9". Rubio's kind of the same thing. The price is coming down now. The minutes are coming down a bit because Campaign's playing really well. Don't really know what to think about that. I think we get closer to 30 minutes on Rubio, and 6'4" does look pretty decent. Conley, again, they have him out. I think he's going to play. He's at 5'9". I think he's solid too. I think we get 34 minutes from Mike Conley, even in not necessarily the best spot, but I think Conley looks pretty good for a mid-range play. Lou Will, if he's not going to be limited, I would like him at 5'5". They have limited him the last couple games, though. Again, we did just get news Kendrick Nunn is out Saturday. Dragic status up in the air. If he's out too, again, it's Hero, it's Iguodala, it's Kelly O that I would really like. Yeah, again, I'm not getting to any of the Dallas guys like Trey Burke, DeLon Wright. If you want to take a shot, fine, but I have no trust in Rick Carlisle. I think that's really it. So that's for the breakdown. Again, a lot of value can open up if we get some guys resting, if we get some more injuries. So got to keep an eye on it, and that's why it's important to follow or check out the live stream, guys. 45 minutes to an hour before lockout, we'll be live going over everything, answering any questions you guys have. But thanks again, guys. Hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you all tomorrow in the live stream.